Hi guys, welcome back to SJ Sports. I'm here with man like Seni. We're back on our Monday topic about, as you guys know, all about Arsenal. And it's not about rivalry. This one is about Arsenal. But Seni, yeah, I wanted also to talk about Kai Havertz and the performance against Sheffield United. Good performance from Arsenal. So I just picked these individual players so that we can talk about their performance and their role in the team. Yeah. So what do you make of Kai Havertz's performance so far?
I mean, Kai Havertz is basically the same week in, week out. He just offers you the bare minimum, um, and he gives you, you know, the hard work and defensive duties. But going forward, he picks out easy passes, easy options. He doesn't take risks or carry the ball and create stuff and sort of like create magical moments in the game, like we see the likes of Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, and Odegaard do. So as a midfield eight who's supposed to be in a creative role, he doesn't do a lot, but at the same time, he doesn't do too bad. I think he just needs a whole season where he adapts properly, learn how the team plays, and just sort of like build chemistry with the players he's playing with, and maybe we'll see a different Kai Havertz next season. But we need to allow him time still because it was the same issue with Fabio Vieira when he first came, and now we're starting to see him come into his game a bit more and coming out of his shell a lot more, and he's creating more relationships and chemistry between players on the field.
Yeah, basically, as you know, I was not watching the game fully. I was catching up a little bit. I saw he made one tackle, one good tackle, and I'm like, yeah, I think Kai Havertz needed that tackle to boost his
Yeah,
confidence and that. And I like what Arteta did. Like, I know we're gonna talk about Arteta in the minutes ahead. So yeah, but I
yeah,
think Kai Havertz shows that he can tackle, he can show physicality, and that's why he's lacking. Like, he used to be in a Chelsea team that he was not doing a lot about the physicality side and all this,
yeah,
you know. Yeah, but I was really happy the way he performed, and he did really well. So so I would say like he had a good performance.
yeah.
Huh? No, another. Oh no, no, send it. Hmm. Oh minute. Yeah, you can carry on, sorry. Yeah, send it.
We've lost Alka there for a moment, so we should just bear with him until he gets back. Um, in terms of Kai Havertz, we've seen little bit more than he does or he did at Chelsea, to be fair. And at Arsenal, from my perspective as a fan, I see him playing much better as a number nine because when he's up there, he's giving us a different outlet. We can get players overlapping or underlapping, sticking crosses in the box, and giving us a different dimension rather than playing through the middle and doing the tiki taka football. All of that. So when the going gets tough, we can just bypass all of that silky football and just stick to basic. Go down the line, provide support for Martinelli or Saka, depending on what side of the wings we're attacking from. Put a crossing, he can either header it down for other players coming in late in the box, or he can even have a go himself. So for me, I'd rather see him playing in that sort of like number nine role this season until he's improved a bit more and his confidence is a bit higher than we're seeing at the moment. I think that will give him a boost. So hopefully, Mikel, sorry, excuse me. Hopefully, Mikel sees that as a different outlet and just goes with that. And we see him improve, and the next season we can see him in that eight. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just sense there about seeing Havertz playing in the number nine role because it gives us a different outlet. So hopefully we see more of that rather than the eight.
yeah. I think what Arteta is doing is trying to play like when he's playing like weaker teams to give him more time to play in the middle. But I think when we play better sides, he doesn't start enough. So I think he will probably play him, like you said, as a number 9. Then that will give him like physicality and height and all this. Sometimes you can't keep playing, the ball from the back. Sometimes you need to go long and all
Yeah,
this. And
yeah,
Andrea is very good at kicking long and all this. So we got like a different players with different positions, and depend what game we play, we can use them in a different position. But I think he did well. I think his confidence is increasing as well as
yeah, 100%, man.
yeah. The other player I want to talk about is Rice. What do you make of Rice's performance on this season so far as well?
I think I've seen Rice have one below par performance, and that was the first half against Chelsea, I believe. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first half against Chelsea. Yeah, that was the only game I've seen him have a poor performance. But then he came back in the second half, and he basically dragged their team through that draw in the end, because he was the only one who's picking the ball up, driving forward, and just progressing the team forward, because everyone else was looking very lackluster and
Mm.
just looked like they were tired from, I don't know if it was the international break or whatever the situation might have been, or they gave up themselves. I don't know. But Rice was the only player who looked like he was trying. So that was the only game I've seen him this season, where he was poor in the first half, but obviously picked it up in the second half. So against Sheffield again, great assist in with the Eddie goal. You just see his physicality and his presence just gives Arsenal that solid defensive structure
Yeah.
that we need. He's obviously sat in front of the centre backs, so we see him timing, um, make recovery tackles, runs back, tracks back, and whenever we play a good team, the creative player for that team, we see Rice always marks out of the game, and he's always on his heels, ready for um, intercepting the ball, or even getting in players' faces to stop them from, progressing the ball and whatnot. We've seen it against Man City, how he dealt with players like Bernardo Silva, Alvarez, and a lot. So even when was it Nunes came on, he
Yeah.
was,
Nunes. Yeah.
yeah. I remember him picking the ball up from deep into midfield, run past two players towards our
Mm.
penalty box, and Bryce made a great recovery tackle, won the ball back, and then we started a counter attack from that. So he's been he's been really good for us this season. I think he's the difference between us last season and this season winning against Man City, because we've seen in the past. I've been to the Emirates several times to watch Man City Arsenal, and we played very good games and we still lost. Even Pep Guardiola said, I remember it was New Year's Day, we outplayed Man City. We went toe to toe with them, but
Yeah.
we ended
I
up
remember
losing the
that
game.
game.
Yeah, we ended up losing the game 2-1. And Pep Guardiola even came out and said Arsenal deserved to win that game. But at the end of the day, the result went Man City's
Matters.
way.
Mm.
So I think Rice is the difference between those performances and the two that we've put in this season. We played them twice in the Community Shield and in the Premier League, and we've beaten them twice. So at the moment, we've got a moral high ground, and going into another game against them, obviously it might be a different situation. They might have Kevin De Bruyne back and Rodri at the same time. But how many times have we played Man City? We've not had Saka. We've not had Thomas Partey. We've not had Gabriel Jesus. We've not had William Saliba. But no one ever says, "Oh, Man City beat Arsenal, but Arsenal didn't have their key players." But once we beat them once in the Premier League this season, oh, they didn't have Kevin De Bruyne. They didn't have um, Rodri. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's,
With that, that's what rival fans gonna do. So we all gonna
yeah,
accept that. That's what they're gonna do. Even if we beat Man City still 3 or 4 or 5, and they will still come out and say they're gonna already know they're gonna Kevin De Bruyne. So that's rival talk anyway. We will have to expect that from them.
yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. I think for me, I think Rice. If I have to rate Rice this season, I'll give him 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. For me, I think that's a good
Yeah,
rating. 9 out of 10.
yeah.
I
To
think,
be fair, he's
and
yeah,
the problem is here we have a missed party, and people forget that
yeah,
Party has been injured most of the season so far.
yeah,
So right now, Rice is playing football that we're not even missing party. Remember last season when Party is injured, the fans start to get worried. Oh, he's gonna play this
yeah,
Party, is different DM, this that. We don't have anybody to replace Party. But now Party is missing. No one is, even thinking about Thomas Party. And there's rumors that they will sell him in January.
yeah. I mean, Partey is a great player for me, man. Like,
I think we need to move on from Party
yeah,
now. I've started moving on from Party now.
yeah. He's
I
he's
like
he's a
he's one of my favorite players at Arsenal. But right now, boy, you cannot be playing like 30% of this season, boy. That's not good enough, man. You need to be playing,
yeah,
boy. When your team needs you, you need to be there, man. And this is what a lot of people have been saying about Neymar. If you look at Neymar's stats, yeah, Neymar had like half of the season missing due to injury. Injury. I understand, like injuries are injuries. There's nothing you can do about injuries. But
yeah,
I don't want a player that's gonna come into my football club and play like 30% of the season. That doesn't win you like nothing much. Especially if the player is that important into the team. So you need to try and get a replacement as soon as possible. I think we need to, yeah, probably we got Rice who can replace Partey. I know Rice is doing well, but probably needs to improve to Partey's level. And I
yeah.
think he will get there. I
If
think
Rice gets
mm,
if Rice was to get injured, who comes in for Rice?
that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said. That's why I was gonna say. Well, you cut me out. That's why I was gonna say. Like January, we need to go out there and get. There's rumors to Germany. I don't think Arsenal will get too many from Madrid. There's no way Madrid will sell too many. But we
Yeah,
need to go out there and get another defensive midfielder in case
yeah,
Rice is injured, and then he can come in and replace Rice. I think that's what we need right now. But I think Partey's injury is concerning, man. Because he cannot even get fit, man. And I wanted to see that Rice midfield, Rice, Odegaard, Partey. I wanted to see that midfield at least 2, 3 games to see how that midfield is gonna work or not. But at the moment we're having unfit Thomas Partey. So we have to end up playing with Jorginho probably gonna have more games this season
yeah,
because Partey's not fit enough. So we'll play maybe big games to play maybe Jorginho and Rice and all that. But I expect us to go out in January. If there's a part in January, I think they will bring in. For me, go out there and get me Paulinho. Paulinho is a good DM man. Give me Paulinho or who is out there that you can give me another midfield I'm thinking of apart from
but that's the
or
thing.
go and give me Lucas Paqueta.
How much do you think Fulham's gonna ask for Paulinho? That's another
Paulinho,
problem.
it depends how much left in his contract,
Yeah,
and
DMs are going DMs are going for 100 million minimum nowadays,
yeah,
as we've
yeah.
seen. So
Or
Paulinho,
give me Lucas Paqueta as well. But I know Lucas Paqueta, West Ham will ask a lot, but
he's
I
not a
think they
DM.
will.
He's a number 10 or number
No, no.
eight.
What I mean, like, if you get a DM, you can play Rice like a DM, and then you
Yeah,
you got Jorginho. Certain games you can play Jorginho and rest Rice, and then I think we need a number 8. Number 8 is our problem right now. Number 8
yeah,
because we got Kahava. Kahava cannot play number 8. Certain games, big games, you cannot play Kahava number 8. It's not gonna work.
yeah. I
They're
think
gonna
I think
physical.
Emil's will come into that role very very well. He just needs time as well because he's come back from long term injury, so he's starting to find his feet slowly. But the problem is Mikel's faced with um, trying to give him minutes as well as having big games coming up. So we're at a stage where we're competing. We need someone who's ready to go, not someone you need to give games to warm him up or bring him up to speed. So that's where the problem lies with Emil Smith Rowe because we've seen him in seasons before where he's been our top scorer along with Saka, and he was playing in that role. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. You mentioned about Smith Rowe, and I was gonna get into Smith Rowe. I think Smith Rowe, what the game? He had a good game. He played. He had the assist with KD's last goal. And
yeah,
that's what we're asking for: players to come in when players are rested to come in and
yeah,
just give their all and then compete with other players. And it's good that Mikel rest Odegaard. I think Odegaard is in poor form. He's a good player, but he's in poor form. And then to be able to make like four changes and then you still win a game. That's good. I know a lot of people are saying that we've not been playing well, but the reason why we've not been playing well, like we don't want teams to like know how we playing the same style of football, And last season towards the end, teams they study how Arsenal played and they end up stopping us
Yeah,
because we end up dropping points because they know how we're gonna play. So this season, right now, they don't find the way. They don't know how we're playing. Yes, teams are scoring against us,
yeah,
but we're still undefeated. Like nobody has beaten Arsenal this season. So they haven't figured out this system. That's why I think what Mikel is doing is just gonna carry on this system until
yeah,
maybe January, February. Then he probably gonna change to the system that he played last season.
yeah,
So I think Smith Rowe had a good game, and he needed to play well because he needed game time and all that as well. So it's good that he came in and proved the manager. Said, "Man, look, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here to compete other guy, and we need that because we cannot afford to have other guy injured and then we like, oh, back to square one,
yeah,
oh, go in January and sign another player. That's not. This is what big clubs do. When you're in the big clubs, there's competition all of it. You know. So sometimes harsh decisions, but players have to take it. You see Pep Guardiola, you play like one game, the following week you're on the bench, or you play the following week you're on the bench. So it's like ruthless. Yeah, but
yeah.
Smith had a good game. The last one, I'll move on to Eddie Nketiah. What do you make of Eddie Nketiah? Is Eddie Nketiah good enough to win Arsenal the league? I'll ask that question.
First of all, people always mention about him being good enough for Arsenal to win the league. First of all, Eddie is the number two striker. He's our second striker, our backup striker. He's not our number one striker. So we shouldn't even be thinking, is he good enough to win us the league? Because he's coming in to fill in for Jesus when he's out. And because we have other players who can interchange in that front three as well. We don't just need to, scope it into Eddie Nketiah. And one thing I will say about Eddie, I've always been a fan. I've always been a big fan of Eddie Nketiah. He's not England under 21's leading goal scorer of all times by mistake. He's a finisher. He is prolific, but he's that way if the playing style suits his game. The way we play, most teams, when we come across most teams, they play in low blocks. So there's no space for him to run in behind. And Eddie's not going to be the type of player to drop in deep, pick the ball up, beat 3, 4 man, shoot, and he goes top bins. I know he banged the top bins at the weekend, but that's not something he has in his locker for games week in, week out. So another thing I'm going to say as well is if you look at teams across the Premier League, how many second strikers for teams are better than Eddie Nketiah? You'll say Man City, Alvarez is better. Darwin Nunes for Liverpool, he's better. But then you look at Man United, Anthony Martial, is he better? No.
No, not at the moment.
Chelsea, you can't even talk about Chelsea because even their first choice strikers aren't firing, so they're out of the game. Spurs, you got Richarlison. How many goals has he scored in how many games?
Mm. Eddie,
So,
Eddie, Eddie had Eddie had 5 goals.
so what I need Arsenal fans to remember is you don't know what you have until you lose it. If we were to lose Eddie right now, I bet you any money people will be crying out for him to come back. We done the same with Granit Xhaka. A lot of Arsenal fans were saying we need an improvement on him. We need to get number 8. That's decent. Blah blah blah. He's gone. Kai Havertz has come in. We're crying for him. If we were to lose Eddie right now, trust me, we'll be in the same position. And another thing is, I got stats on Eddie. So this season he's made 10 appearances, right? 8 starts, and he scored 5 goals in those 8 starts. Last season he made 30 appearances, right? Which 9 of them were starts. Yeah, 9 starts in the league in 30 appearances, and he scored 4 goals. Yeah. The season before he made 21 appearances, 8 starts, and he scored 5 goals. What are people on about? Is he good enough? Give him.
Mm.
He's shown. He's even said it on interviews. Give me a good run of games, and I will score you goals. And his stats proves it. You start him more. People say he's played more 30 games, but he scored 4 goals or 5 goals. Most of those games he comes in for a 5, 10, 15, 20-minute cameo to see out the game, to inject more energy into the game. Some of the games he'll come on to run the ball down the line, give defenders a bit more headache, something to think about, and then we see off the games. That's more time. That's what he's coming in to do. But when he starts game, when Jesus have been injured and he's coming to fill in for Jesus, he's proven himself. He's scored against the big team. He scored against Man United last season. You know, banged against Chelsea. You know, last weekend people say, "Oh, it's Sheffield United," but that's the same Sheffield United, Man United strikers struggled to score against. Tottenham struggled to win the game against them. They were lucky to have scored 2 goals in the last 7 minutes of the game. We've seen teams struggle against Sheffield United, so they've earned the right. Their players, it doesn't matter who's on the pitch. They're a team, they're a club who are in the Premier League, so they deserve to be. So they need the respect to be given to them. So that's why I say Eddie, you know, he needs more respect put on his name, especially Arsenal fans. He's our player at the moment. Support him, be behind him, give him that support that he needs, and his performances back him up. His goals against his number of starts back him up. So a lot of people always say he's not good enough. Is he going to win us a league? He's not a number 1 striker.
I think he's good enough to be a backup striker.
That's what he is. He is a backup striker. So when we're talking about winning the league, we should be talking about, is Jesus good enough? Is he available enough for us to win the league? Not Eddie. Eddie comes in to fill the role when he's injured. And only two teams in the Premier League, in the top 6, should we say, have better strikers, second strikers than Eddie Nketiah, and that's Alvarez and Darwin Núñez. So Arsenal fans need to think properly before they start, giving him loads of negative sort of comments and all of that. He's our player. He's in a club at the moment. Let's back him. And I rate Eddie, man. He's so confident. He tells us through the media, give me a run of games, I'll bang you the goals. And for him to take that number 14, man, come on, that's big boost to feel. So if he didn't believe in his own abilities and didn't have the confidence, he wouldn't have said, right, give me the number 14, I want it. So I've always been a big fan of Eddie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are frustrated on Eddie. Like, you remember there's a season that we went to Everton away.
Yeah.
And he had that last chance. And then I understand that time he probably was young and all this is going to experience. But maybe now we have now a better Eddie now than 3 years back. But I think also the fans are frustrated. Sometimes he had easy chances that he should. I remember I was at Villa back last season when we played Villa, that 4-2, that 4-2 game. Yeah. He had that chance. Empty, one on one with the keeper, just keep the ball up. Smoke it out on top of the air, whatever, on the bar. I can't remember. And that was an easy chance score. So I think a lot of fans are a bit critical on Eddie because of chances that he missed. But this season, I haven't seen him miss chances like that. I don't know, maybe because of he's more.
The thing is, people say he misses chances. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many chances have we seen Darwin Núñez miss? And if you said right now to any Arsenal fan or opposition fan who's better between Eddie and Darwin Núñez, they'll tell you Darwin Núñez. How many chances have we seen Richarlison miss? Just the weekend gone, Darwin Núñez went around the keeper, empty net, and he hit the post. So strikers do miss chances. They get chances, they miss. It's part of the game. What you should judge him on is how many starts he's getting and how many goals and goal contribution is he adding for the team. That's what we should be judging.
Yeah, you know what, Silly? I think you're right on the other side, because one thing I don't understand with Eddie, but when Jesus is fit, when Jesus comes back, he doesn't score. When Jesus is injured, he starts scoring.
You know why that is?
Why?
Because when Jesus comes back, he starts 90%, 95% of games. And Eddie only gets 15, 20, 10, 5 minutes. Do you know how hard it is to come on, yeah, for 20 minutes,
Van,
and then
this is
you
about
try to you
Van.
try
This is
to
about
catch.
only Arsenal. Van said let him come in. This is only about Arsenal. We're Thursday. Thursday.
So
Yeah, go on, go
big up Van anyway, big up Van. But anyway, you know when you come on to a game, when you come into a game, you've got 20 minutes to go, 10, 15, 5 minutes to go. It's very hard to catch the pace of the game. Yeah. And then by the time you've caught the pace, you've got like a couple of minutes left. By the time you've even got a chance to take the chance, the whistle's blown. So this is why when Jesus is back fit, Eddie doesn't score. When Jesus is out injured, Eddie scores because he starts and he's got more time. And he, when you start a game and when you come on, it's very different because when you start the game, you catch the tempo of the game way sooner, way quicker than when you come on.
And you know
So
what? You know what? When Arsenal have that penalty, if Eddie took that penalty, he's gonna score a goal and he's gonna equal with Thierry Henry and Andre Asaven for scoring like 4 goals in a match. Those are like the two players that have done it at Arsenal. So luckily, but he's from the interview that I had, it said he wanted to give it to Fabio Vieira because Fabio Vieira used to give him like certain like passes for him to score. So it was nice for him to give him that. But I think he should have taken that penalty. I think take that penalty and score like at least get 4 goals, you know. But yeah, it was but we'll move on to I think it was a good hat trick for Eddie. Good performance,
yeah,
so we expect this performance to continue, you know. But he's got more
yeah.
games. Jesus out for I think Jesus out for 3 to 4 weeks, yeah. So he's got more games to to prove himself. Let's see what he's gonna do in the next couple of weeks time. So yeah, we'll move on to Arteta. What do you think of Arteta's lineup and the changes that he made? I think Arteta's learning now more. It's like he's growing into the game. He's growing into the football club. So he was making mistakes last season. When I say mistakes, I mentioned like when Arsenal are leading 3-0, taking off Saka, taking off Martinelli, giving players like this a rest. He was not doing this last season and he was not rotative enough. I understand last season we didn't have the squad depth like this season, but still you should be able to rest certain matches when you can beat the opposition. I know you cannot underestimate any team in the league, but there's certain games, you can rotate and still win matches. So I think this season he's doing that. From what I saw on Saturday, he was doing that. He was bringing players out. I think Saka when we scored the fourth goal, Saka came off, Martinelli came off. He bring out I think Rice. He bring Reece Nelson. He brought on how to call it this boy Trossard. He brought on Fabio Vieira, and then Gabriel Magalhaes end up he had a rest. He didn't play Odegaard. So and he played Zini. Zini had a good game anyway from what I saw. So
Yeah.
do you think Arteta's learning from what he was doing last season, the mistakes that he was doing last season compared to this season?
Yeah, of course he is. And just like you said, we didn't have the squad depth last season. So we were going for the league. And there was no game in the Premier League where you could afford to be like, oh, I'm going to rest Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. The best team, if it's available and the players are fit, the best team plays because of what we were going for. Fair enough, players were burnt out. We dropped, we dipped in form in the last 10 games of the season, and we lost games, and that cost us. But this season, he's got a bit more of squad depth, and he's got more options. Fair enough, we've got Urian Timber, who's injured. He also provides a lot of defensive cover, both on both sides of fullback and central defense as well. But obviously, he's injured, so we don't have that option at the moment. And then we've got Rice now, so when Partey's out, Rice can play, And then in the lesser games, you can bring on El Nene, who's injured last season as well, and you can bring Jorginho in certain games. We've got Trossard on the left with Reece Nelson and Martinelli playing in there. But on the right hand side, we've only got Saka at the moment. And I guess we've seen Jesus play there against Man City. But I think that's our next point of call. We need to sort out that right hand side. We need to get an actual right hand side winger. I seen we've been linked to Pedro Neto of Wolves, but he's gone out injured last weekend as well. So I hope in January we can bring someone to have cover for Saka as well. And obviously, up top, everyone needs like a gunman if you're going for a league. So I know there are teams who've done it before with false nines or without proper established strikers. But
Yeah. So
it's just
mention yeah. So you did mention January. So who are the players that you're looking to like? You want who are the players that you want Arsenal to go out there and get? Like, what do we
um,
need? Do we need a striker, another attacking midfielder, or a right winger?
to be quite honest, if I could get Victor Osimhen, I would get Victor Osimhen. But at the
But a
same
dream
time,
one, a
but
dream
at
for
the,
Victor Osimhen, man.
yeah, at the same time, I think Ivan Toney is a bit more realistic, and he's Premier League proven.
Yeah.
And if you were to go for Ivan Toney, then you'll also have the option of exploring a Pedro Neto on the right hand side. So for me, I'd rather have Pedro Neto and Ivan Toney than getting just Victor Osimhen. Um, so I would definitely say Victor Osimhen, Ivan Toney and Pedro Neto for January, depending on obviously their availability and fitness.
Yeah, but
Um,
if definitely if they're selling Partey to Juventus, who would you like think of to
I
bring
wouldn't.
over?
I wouldn't sell Partey in January. I would sell him either in the summer or next January because Partey possesses such um, knowledge, experience, and skill. I'd rather Declan Rice see him and play alongside him and learn from Partey before he departs. So I wouldn't just sell him like that because we've seen how we've suffered with Granite just going and Kai Havertz coming in. So I'd either sell him in the summer or next January. Let him stay an extra year or so. Because if we sell him, you're not gonna get big money. He's 30. He's 30
But
and
what about if it's not like if it's not how to call it, if it's not playing majority of the games, then we have to like find a replacement, don't you think?
yeah, we have to, but this season, if you're selling him in January, that's half the season gone already. Whoever comes in has to now learn the way we play and then fit in with the team before he kicks on. So I don't see who we can get to replace him that's going to just come in and fit in straight away. I know we've been linked to Zubamendi. He plays in Spain. You've got hella time on the ball when you're playing out in La Liga. When he comes to the Premier League, you go away to I don't know, teams up north like Burnley's and um, your Sheffields and whatnot. They're not going to give you time on the ball. They're going to kick you to bits. We've seen it week in, week out with Saka. What happens to him? You don't get time to pick your passes or to see, to view and scan your surroundings. So he's going to need time. He's going to need games
For
to
me,
to,
for
to
me,
pick
for
up.
me, for me, like it depends what Arsenal want. If Arsenal really wanna go out there and get another defensive midfielder, or Juventus offer like 30 million. From what I read, they said if Juventus offer 30 million, they will sell it. So if they sell Party for me, they have to go out there and get another midfield 8 for me, or get midfield 6.
That's what I'm saying. If you get anyone in at that stage of the game, bear in mind that would be half of the season gone. Everyone's already established. All the teams are established and they're kicking on. That's the business end of the season. If you bring someone in, it has to be someone who's already in the league, who's already used to it. Like we saw with Trossard when he came, he fitted in like a glove, kicked on straight away last season. So if we're gonna get someone, we need someone for now. If we're challenging, if we're still up there in January, you can't bring on a player. We've been linked to Zubamendi to replace Partey. You can't bring Zubamendi to Arsenal at that stage of the competition. It's not going to work. It will fall apart very quickly. That's what I'm saying. Sell him either in the summer or give him another year and sell him in the second January coming. At that point, Declan Rice would have learned a hell of a lot from him. Then you can bring someone and then you can give him runner games to kick in and whatnot. But if you do it at a point where it's the business end of the season, all the teams are kicking on and we're starting to fight for the league, and maybe you're in the final stages of the Champions League and the FA Cups and League Cups. So you don't want to disrupt that rhythm of the team.
Hopefully he'll be fit. Hopefully he'll be fit come January. He'll be fit and start playing matches.
Yeah.
If he's not gonna be fit playing matches, then it's gonna make us more handicapped. So we don't
Yeah.
need as much.
To be fair, we're gonna lose him anyway to African Cup of Nations if he
Yeah,
is January. So
yeah,
there is that.
so that's why we still need a replacement for it. But anyway, moving on. We're not gonna do player rating because if we have to do player rating, we're gonna be here probably all long. So I'm gonna ask you, who's your man of the match?
My man of the match is Eddie Nketiah. You score a hat trick.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna give it to Rice, but because of Eddie score hat trick, so if I have to give it to Rice, then I'm gonna be too.
To be
too
fair,
hard.
you can give it to Rice, you can give it to Zinchenko, even
Yeah.
Kivio played very well coming on.
Kivio as well, yeah.
Saliba again was a Rolls Royce. There's so many players you could pick. Even
Yeah,
David Raya had a good game, even though he had nothing to do. But
we'll give it to Eddie. Eddie's fair. Anyway, before I go, there's some videos that I want to play, like the fan cam videos for us to talk about a little bit, and then. But before I go, there's a comment here from from Van. So, but I want to talk about Arsenal too. Van, this is an only Arsenal show. You know, if you want to talk about Arsenal, there's a Thursday podcast is available, so you can always join when
this is an Arsenal fan only.
Yeah, it's only Arsenal. If you Arsenal, then you're
at least he's wanting to come back to the channel, so big him up still.
If you want a podcast, you can have your own podcast in a United fan. You can talk to Palmwood and you can organize yours and talk about your. You know, this is not about rivalry. Rivalry one is Thursday and Sunday. Yeah, but Seni, we're moving on. Let me play this video and then we'll have a listen to this guy, Lee Georges. See what he's got to say.
Game because he's played most of the game today. But my front three for the game against West Ham will be Trossard on the left. You know what I mean? Eddie down the middle, and Nelson. That ain't bad. You know what I mean? That's finished the game today. The Sackers and Martinelli's. I'd give him a rest. You know, like 3 or 4 like we did today. Just keep it ticking away.
Yeah, Seni, what do you make of it?
I completely agree. I completely agree because we've got a very tough game coming up at St. James's Park at the weekend. So definitely rest Rice, Saka, and your Martinellis, you know. Playing Trossard, Eddie, and Reece Nelson is a very strong lineup as well. They're all very direct. They all possess different skill sets that can unlock most defenses in the Premier League, so that's still a very strong lineup. With resting Rice, bring on Jorginho or even more El Neni, and that's also going to be a strong midfield with Emile Smith-Rowe and Kai Havertz in there. So yeah, I definitely agree with him on that one.
Yeah, I think I agree with him as well. That's a fair point. Yeah, I've got one video, 2 more. I'll play this one. Let's see what Robbie's got to say.
I think if we go in there and definitely get one more all-in midfielder, but with Declan Rice, and we get Ivan Toney, I would say coming in the summer we can go and get a creative midfielder, because I always say I don't believe Odegaard is a creative midfielder. I believe he should have a free role to play free.
Do you agree with him? Say you don't believe other guys in midfielder.
A player who plays a free role is a creative player. You don't play that role if you're not creative, because what's the point? You're going to be running around like a headless chicken. We see Kevin De Bruyne play a free role because he is the most creative player in today's game.
That's not Robbie. That's why they are.
That's what a creative player does. So if you're saying play him in a free role, but he's not a creative player, you've already contradicted yourself in that department. Yeah. We've seen Martin Odegaard.
I disagree with you. I think Odegaard is a creative midfielder. If he wants to say like, oh, we need to go out there and get another striker or another wide player, then I agree with him. But to say he's not a creative midfielder, then I think he's an harsh on Odegaard anyway. But I've got one more for Robbie one. So we'll listen to what Robbie's got to say. FTV Robbie.
How many people scored that tricks against them. People don't realise sometimes when you're playing a team like Sheffield United, low block, everyone behind the ball, they don't understand how important that first goal is. They want the unlocker against these teams, and he got it.
He got it.
Right, big performance by him today.
Yeah, basically saying people don't understand when you play in these lower block teams. So what do you make of it?
Yeah, when teams turn up to play a low block sort of like formation, what they're hoping to do is get through most of the game, keep it at 1-0, keep themselves in the game, and then the last 10, 15, 20 minutes, then they start going for it. But what he said is very true. As soon as you get the goal early, it throws that game plan away because they know if you sit and leave it till it's late, you've got a higher chance of losing the game because you're already losing. You're already on a back foot. So you're fighting an uphill battle to begin with. So it forces that team to scrap that idea and try and get themselves back in the game, and then they can assess or whatever when they go in for halftime. So yeah, credit to Eddie, man. As soon as he got that goal, he just opened them up a bit more, and then we saw in the second half what happened.
Yeah, he did well, man. He did well. So probably that's the end of the show. But before we go on, basically we're playing West Ham on Wednesday. It's gonna be live on Sky Sport. What is your predictions before we end the stream?
I think we'll win. I think we've seen West Ham when they play the fringe players, they're not so deadly. And I think they've got a big game coming up as well on the weekend. So they're most likely going to make some changes in certain areas. So I think we've got enough ammunition to go in and win that game. So I'm going to go for a narrow either 2-1 or 1-0 win.
Yeah, it's going to be at the London Stadium. It's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be. It'll be interesting to see if Rice will play or he will come in second half to have a few minutes against his former club. But yeah, West Ham lost on the weekend against Everton. So their performance was not that great, and they're not informed that much. So yeah, you're right. What did you go for 2-1?
Yeah, I'll go for 2-1 or a narrow 1-0. So
yeah, I'll go for a 2-0 Arsenal. I know it's gonna be tough because we're gonna be making a lot of changes. So it's gonna be. I think we'll get a penalty and then probably score towards the last.
If you were Mikel Arteta, who do you pick for your starting 11 against West Ham?
Ooh, against West Ham, I'll go for Ramsdale. Ramsdale will definitely come in this time around. I'll go Ramsdale. I'll go for Tomiyasu. I'll bring back Gabriel because he rested on the weekend. I'll rest Saliba. I'll bring Gabriel Kivio. And then I'll play Zini because Zini had a rest the following Champions League game. So I'll play Zini. And then midfield, I'll go for Elneny is back. I don't know if you know that. So
he's back.
I'll probably go for Jorginho. And then I'll maybe play Jorginho because it's away from home. Jorginho, Elneny, and then I'll play Smith on that number 10. And then I'll play Trossard, Eddie. And then I'll have this guy, Reece Nelson. Because don't forget, Reece Nelson scored our last Carabao Cup against Brentford. He's the one that scored that winning goal. Yeah, so that will be my lineup anyway.
Yeah, I think for me, I would go for Ramsdale in goal. I'd bring in Cedric Suarez at right back, and then I'll go for Gabriel and Kivio.
Gabriel Perez there. Well, yeah, go on.
Gabriel and Kivio, and then play Zini left back because obviously we're going to need Tomiyasu against Newcastle. As we've seen, they're very attacking, so we're going to need him and his physicality in there. I'll definitely play Jorginho in a DM and play Smith Rowe and Kai Havertz with the option to bring on Fabio Vieira and more Elneny if we're in a winning position and if we're comfortable later on in the game. And then obviously the top three will be Eddie, Trossard and Reece Nelson for me as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good lineup. I think whatever lineup Arteta put out there, Arsenal should be able to go out there and win anyway. Not easy, but they should be able. I think West Ham, I think David Moyes will make changes as well because right now he's not playing well. So we love to keep his best player. One thing I like there, this player, man. Mohamed Kudus is a top player, man.
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
he's a
coming here from Ibrahim, as you know him, Ibrahim
yeah,
Chan. He said, "Well
yeah.
done, guys. I've got one more here." He says,
Big up China, my
"Yeah, big
broski
up,
still.
Chan, big up, man. Thank you so much for watching, guys, man." He said, "It is my man of the match. Of Haaland scored like those goals. We will be talking about it, for weeks." Yeah, he's right. He's right. Eddie, big up to Eddie, man. He scored a hat trick. Big up to everybody that is
Yeah,
watching.
that's very true. If Haaland was to score a hat trick, everyone will be raving and ranting about it.
Yeah.
And another thing,
But but Haaland's got the credit on the bank, so Eddie haven't got that.
yeah,
At the moment, so
that reminds me as well. We were talking about chances Eddie miss, and he's not good enough because he misses loads of chances. How many chances did Haaland miss at the Manchester derby?
yeah, I know. But anyway, saying it,
I'm not comparing Haaland to Eddie. I'm just saying even top strikers do miss chances as well. Before I guess
Fox.
yeah,
All I want to say is thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. And then tell us what you thought
yeah,
about
man.
the video and then everything. Well, we'll be back. Next Monday? But the following Monday, I don't think we can do the stream because we're gonna be watching basic. Oh, what we'll do? I'll arrange the time anyway. I'll do in the group chat anyway. Oh, I'll let you know the time we're gonna start because the Monday night is gonna be Chelsea versus Tottenham, and I'm sure all of us will want to watch that game. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and then we'll
Yeah,
be back on Thursday
bless everyone
podcast.
still.